A good amount of champions have one spell in their kit that is significantly weaker than all the others. It's a pretty normal concept and it makes sense from a balancing standpoint. On the support position, we don't have to look further than Rakan or Alistar. Both of them have the same concept of having 3 decently powerful spells with one weaker one. Rakan has his Q, which gives him at least some neutral game, and with the buff it got not too long ago, its heal became actually pretty significant. But compared to his other spells, it's a lot weaker. Alistar is a great disengage. With a powerful AoE knockup on a low cooldown that's easily combinable with his point to click knockback, along with an ultimate that makes him the only support in the game that can get actually tanky. Compared to these spells, his E is a nice little bonus to add between combos. I'm not saying it's weak, but it's just worse than all the other ones. And here comes the problem I see with Rells kit into play. Not like other champions that usually only have one spell that's weaker than all the others in her kit, she has 3 of them. Rells' whole gameplay identity is focused around Crashdown, with other abilities just supporting it. None of Rells' other spells have anything they are particularly good at. Shattering Strike is a low damage, low healing, low range, clunky spell. Its best selling part is the shield breaking, which is way too situational to be its main selling factor. When we look at other shield breaker abilities in the game, like Renekton or Blitzcrank, we can easily deduct that shield breaking is usually an added bonus to an already useful spell. But having a shield breaker as the main part of ability is just way too situational and all over not good. Attract and Repel is a low radius, low damage, low duration stun, which is mainly just used to either chain it to Crashdown or to cancel channeling abilities. On its own, it has no relevancy in the game. Let's talk about Magnet Storm next. I'm usually fine with a relatively weak ultimate that is just there to support other good abilities of a champion. Rakan again is an example where it works out just fine. Don't get me wrong, Rakan's ultimate isn't weak, but its main use is to combine it with his W to make his engages harder to counterplay. But when already having 2 spells that have no relevancy when used on their own, I don't understand why you give the same champion an ultimate that is arguably the weakest spell in her entire kit, when only looking at it by itself. I know, it's supposed to be used with Crashdown to make it easier to hit, but there's already Attract and Repel to accomplish the same thing. Granted, on a smaller scale, but it still works. Magnet Storm is really bad. The only thing it does is CC enemies, and it's probably the worst CC spell in the entire game. The only CC spell that I can think of that is worse is Attract and Repel actually. So one champion having the 2 worst CC spells in the entire game just can't be good. Champions that are singly based around one spell in their kit do exist, I guess. We can look at Singed and Blitzcrank for example. You can say that Singed is completely focused around his Q ability. Yes. But are his other spells really that weak? I would say that both his flip and his ultimate are decently strong, especially when we compare them to what Rell has. And when comparing his E to Rell's Q, which are both spells that are designed to counter certain mechanics in the game, I can confidently say that countering dashes in 9 out of 10 games is going to be more useful than countering shields. When looking at Blitzcrank, we can straight up say that his Q is in many ways better than Crashdown. It's a low risk, decently high range grab that pretty much guarantees a kill when hit on the right target. It's also way easier to disengage a Rell engage than a Blitzcrank hook. The only edge Crashdown has over Rocket Grab is that it's AoE, but that's about it. And all of this is the main reason why Rell can feel so frustrating to play from time to time. You know that I am the one who always says that Rell is very versatile and can fill many roles in a team. I'm talking engaging, peeling, catching and even more. But all of these things are accomplished by doing the same thing over and over again. You crash down Magnet Storm. Every single time you just crash down Magnet Storm. Because you have no other choices. It's not like you can just Q or E to accomplish those things. And in some games, you're just not allowed to go for Crashdown Magnet Storm plays. Which pretty much means that you can't do anything in the game. And these are the games that feel so frustrating to play, where you just think that you're useless and you just walk around doing nothing. So I really hope that Riot manages to fix this problem with the midscope update and makes Rell less frustrating to play by giving her more options to be useful. But that's gonna be for this video, and I'll see you all in the next one.